I think it's time we talked about some women in sports. We're going to start this week with the woman who stands alone at the literal top of the mountain. But first, let's go back in time. You might have heard about Mikaela Shiffrin. She's already the most winningest skier in the history of the world, past, present, man or woman. But back in December, she was going for her 100th World Cup win in skiing. Now, for some context, the next closest winner is a Swedish skier from the 70s and 80s with 86 wins. But on the final turn, Shiffrin's skis caught the edge and she flipped and crashed, puncturing her abdomen on an unknown object. Shiffrin was forced to get surgery and pull out of several races since then. But this weekend, talk about a comeback. On Sunday, Mikaela Shiffrin won her 100th World Cup race. In doing so, she also climbed on top a World Cup podium for the 155th time, which ties the all-time world record. But the real win here is that she was able to race at all, less than 3 months after her crash and still suffering from PTSD. Plus, Mikaela is only 29, which is the prime of a skiing career. So now it's just a matter of how much further she'll push her own records. In soccer, the 10th edition of the She Believes Cup all wraps up tomorrow when the world #1 American women take on the 8th-seeded Japan. Now, to get here, the U.S. women's national team had to hold Australia off for a 2-1 win this weekend, and they did it with an entirely new roster. After the U.S. won their first match of the She Believes tournament against Colombia, head coach Emma Hayes, right there, rotated all 11 players for the national team's first time since the year 2000. You can watch tomorrow's championship match at 9:30 p.m. Central Time on TBS, Max, or Peacock. Well, we are in the middle of playoff season for our local girls high school basketball teams, and tonight is going to be a huge one. But first, check this out. Late last week, the Sterling Golden Warriors won their first regional game in 6 years, and now they take on Crystal Lake Central tonight in a sectional semifinal showdown. A win tonight would send Sterling to the sectional finals for the first time since 2013 and tie the program record for most wins in a season, which was set all the way back in 1979. Nearby, Galena is celebrating after their girls won regionals for the 4th straight year in a row. It's also their 9th regionals win in 11 years, and the Pirates have no intention of ending this hot streak anytime soon. Also happening tonight, we have 4 local teams all trying to punch their tickets to state. Davenport North, Pleasant Valley, Central DeWitt, and Maquoketa are all playing tonight, and they've all got home court advantage. The winners tonight will all head off to state. And get this, if Maquoketa wins, it will be their first ever trip to state basketball. Of course, we'll have all the highlights tonight on News 8 at 10. And you know what? 2 local ladies made it onto this week's Midwest Technical Institute Score Standout list. We'll start with Tatiana Tavala from Monmouth-Roseville. She scored 29 of the team's 44 points in their regional championship win. And joining her on the nominee list this week is Madison Austin from Sterling. The senior had a double-double to lead the Golden Warriors to a regional championship. Of course, you have until tomorrow at noon to cast your vote for any of this week's Score Standouts. All you gotta do is head over to WQAD.com, and each week's winner is featured on Off the Cuff. Finally tonight, talk about hard work and determination. Check this out. Meet Bailey Cinnamon Daniel. She only has one working arm, and she's using it to make history. Cinnamon Daniel is now the very first Division III women's basketball player to score in a game. Her coach at Lesley University says she is the hardest working player on the team. Oh my gosh, listen to them cheer. And get this, right now, the team has the best record they've ever had in 14 years. And that'll do it for this week's edition of Women in Sports.